Hello everyone, this is Desert Wolf here and recording another turn. Um, I have two, well, first of all, hopefully the audio is better this time, and I hope the video is filling up the entire window. So for this turn, I have two surprises, or two plans rather. The first is an ambush of Allied B-17 bombers that were conducting those milk raids over Cold Bay and in the Aleutians. And the second is I decided to actually go for another attack on Manila. I should have rested, but I went ahead and gave it another try immediately. We'll see. I think it's maybe I won't take the base, but this will add to the damage to the Allied defenders. So we'll see what happens here. Full disclosure, I've actually seen this turn. Unlike the last one, I've actually seen this one, so I already know what's going to happen. But I'll tell you guys until you see it for yourself. So let's play it along. See what happens. So over here, I'm running the gamuts of encircled submarines as my ships try to pull back or go down to Singapore now that they've already unloaded all that they needed to unload in India. No biggie here. And here I take a hit. Poor little AP. The Dutch submarines actually have some of the best torpedoes in the Allied side. And I'm not just talking reliability. We all know that the American Mark 14 is not very reliable, but in terms of punching power, or explosive power, the Dutch submarines actually have some of the best torpedoes on the Allied side. So as you will see, spoiler alert, the AP is going to go down. It's going to go down here in a bit. Japanese destroyers reacting to Allied blockade runners, continuing to run the gamut of Dutch and American submarines here, including I think some British ones as well. What I should have done, and I was maybe just a bit too lazy to do it, is bring some Bettys with some good ASW pilots to at least spot the submarines, because once you see them, their effectiveness is dramatically reduced, and that could probably have saved my AP, but I don't know, I just didn't do it. There it goes, it sinks. Harassments from Dutch, oh sorry, yeah, that is Dutch light cruiser, modified for AA purposes. More submarine engagements. Nothing? Okay. Just finalizing the taking over of bases that are still not taken. I mean, right now we have 2 days until the amphibious operation is over, and just right on target. I'm basically finalizing all the items that I need to take. I didn't connect with the blockade runner. Lucky ship managed to escape me. So the Dutch light cruiser escaped under the cover of Bombay. All right, here's a thing that's been flummoxing me, should we put it that way, or confusing me, is as I looking at Allied sweeps over their own bases, which technically should not be possible, but somehow is possible for my opponents. It's a big mystery, and I didn't think I'd be stumped by anything like this before, but here we go. It's happening. Strange. Can't seem to replicate it, but it adds a layer of challenge, I guess. I'm not really going to tell my opponents not to use it because if it's working for him, it's working for him. There's nothing I can do about it. Hopefully, I'll come to a conclusion about what it's about. But like right now, it's not a problem. going for that valuable Australian industry. It's got a lot of flak there, but it's definitely worth the cost. I mean, each one of these industry hits, or each one of these resource mines or whatnot's being destroyed, or damaged rather, is 2 points, so it's worth a lot. So it says 6 resources here, but that's actually, it's almost always more. The more mines you hit, so I think this one has 300, the more you hit, the harder it is to actually hit undamaged ones. If you hit a completely undamaged mine, you're going to get way more points than if you try to target a heavily damaged one. That's just the way it works. So it's going to get harder and harder to get those points out of this mine, but gold mine for me in terms of points. But yeah, we'll keep at it. And even if I lose a few bombers and flak and ops losses, they're definitely making more VPs than they're losing. Like I mentioned last time, trying to get rid of some Chinese forces there. Bombing Madras, trying to keep it suppressed. So, one bomber off the bat goes down. What I found out during this raid was that forts are pretty hefty because some of my planes starts hitting balloons. And generally you need 7 fortification, 7 infrastructure level, and the more forts you have with that infrastructure level, the more balloons are up. So flying at 6,000 feet means I'm still within the margin of hitting balloons. 7,000 feet, you're above the balloons. FYI. There you go, damage by balloon. We're skipping ahead, just wanted to show that. Significant damage should slow down force construction and whatnot, but yeah, that's cost of a few bombers that I miscalculated there a little bit. Here, going after the Manila garrison, still inflicting considerable damage. More bombing of Manila. It's the Allied turn to come after me. That's okay. I'm in ×3 terrain. It's going to be really hard for them to do much damage at all. E-17s. I don't know if it's a good. I don't think it's a good idea to use wildcats like this on land, because you really don't get many U.S. Navy fighter squadrons at this stage, and you know, whatever you get is better off either training up or serving on carriers. To be honest, I mean, I know this is a Navy squadron because I previously tangled with it. Marines is different. If you have a Marine squadron, you can definitely put up, into the fight and whatnot. But U.S. Navy is very rare for their squadrons at this stage. It's better off keeping them on carriers or training up the pilots. But my opponent knows what he's doing. If it works for him, it works for him. It's just not something I would do. Again, keeping Norfolk suppressed. And still haven't seen those B-17s in the Aleutians. Still waiting for that to happen. Recon over Cold Bay, and there we go. B-17's coming, and for a long time I didn't challenge him here, but now I decided, lull them into a sense of security, and now I'm going to send some zeros to tangle them, see what they can do. B-17s, as I'm sure most of you know, tough birds. It's really all about the damage, because you want to cause enough damage that they crash on the way back home. You're gonna get some kills sometimes. That's you know, especially with later aircraft like the George and whatnot. But at this early stage, with the Zero, you're really looking forward to those damaging hits on the aircraft, and eventually some of those airplanes, if you damage them enough, they're going to go down on the way back home. And so yeah, that's what it's all about. I'm not really anticipating direct kills here, but although sometimes you see those, and that's nice. In terms of replacement aircraft, the Americans get only 15 B-17s per month at this stage, plus whatever squadrons come on the map with B-17s already equipped. So the replacement rate is really not that big. So if you shoot down even a couple every few days, that's a very significant impact on their numbers overall. In 1942 at least. No radar, and thunderstorms. So the engagement was going to be short. And this is a combination. You have some flak. It's going to add some blitz damage. And okay, let me speed here. So yeah, that's four B-17s. All of them were damaged. 4 damage. That's good. Another 2. Let's see what happens. Even though 10,000 feet, and the B-17s are arriving at 10,000 feet, the Zeros missed them. That happens sometimes when you have like thunderstorms, when visibility is very low, and when you don't have radar. So not that surprising. All right, I'll speed through this. Some more damage to the fortresses. And we'll see the intel reports. All right, there it goes. Deliberate attack in Manila. You can tell the Allied forces are pretty battered by the air bombings, the previous attack. Forts being low, it's much harder for them to stay in their cover. So I'm gonna speed through this, but you guys let me know if you prefer to watch the whole thing generally or not. But I'm gonna err on the favor of speed here. So units knocked out. I'm not really sure what it was, but one of them was knocked out. Okay, so let's see. Almost 2-1, and if I had gotten 2-1, very, very close to 2-1. And if I had gotten 2-1, I would have been taken, because as fortifications have been reduced to 0. Terrain leaders positive, experience supply negative, same as last time. And in terms of damage, much better, much closer. 110 to 92, 41 destroyed. Yeah, so you can tell it's just a question of time until these guys are destroyed. I can already tell that some of his American forces in Bataan are moving towards Clark. I'm not sure what he's trying to do there, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, pretty pleased with the progress in Manila. I should take, I didn't take it this turn, but should take it next turn. I still have to debate now whether I need to give them some rest or not. I'll check the units and decide. Just mopping up operations here. Nice VPs for me. That's the chunky Chinese garrison there. That's, well, not garrison. They actually slipped in there. Chunky Chinese force that's encircled at the moment. Just gonna try to cut it down to size. Not bad. Okay, so over here I encircled the 99th Indian Brigade and an American battalion. So I'm just mopping up basically. Yeah, just keep hitting them until they surrender. Allied bombardments here. This is where you have the 18th Division, bolstered by artillery and all kinds of other forces. Alright, one disabled here for on their side, so that's a pretty good result for me. Here we have an American regiment. This is from the 40th Division, American Division, and some other Commonwealth forces. Alright, troopers is clearing up Northern Australia. Alright, so recap. Good ambush on Cold Bay. Pretty sure I knocked out some B-17s, but show the picture in the intel report. Lost an AP. That wasn't good, but you know, it happens. The mystery of the sweeps over his own base. That's those are the big takeaways. And Manila, of course, was a good progress on there, and hopefully should take it next turn. All right, so let's see. Okay, that's good. Decent amount of ops losses. Unfortunately, I think a lot of them are probably from the Madras, what happened there. Hitting balloons is never good for an aircraft. We'll see. So, first of all, how many pilots? 4 and 1. Okay, so hopefully a lot of those are my bomber pilots and not my fighter pilots. It starts with the Japanese. I lost 5 Sallies. Yeah, so that's what took the brunt of it. It's okay. 1 Dino is lost to flak. Another Sally here, different type. This is Clunkery, the one hitting the Australian resources, and this is what went after Madras in India. Betty just in ops loss and a 0 on ops loss, probably facing against the B-17. So actually not that bad there. And on the American side or the Allied side, we have 2 Wildcats on ops. That's not good. Hopefully some of those pilots died. Marauder, Hurricane and Blenheim. The fortresses, okay, so let me calculate here. There's 10 losses. This is always the correct number. And 3 air losses. That's always the correct number. So from that, I can look at this, which has fog of war, and I can tell that let's see, Allied aircraft 10, 11. So that means that 5 B-17s were destroyed, 3 on air-to-air and 2 on ops. Okay, 5 B-17s is not a bad number. Great. So I'm happy with that. Next, what else? Let's see. So yeah, just holding as usual here. China's again forces coming down in China to move on Chongqing. Should probably attack when these guys arrive. So that's still a decent 10 turns or something like that. 10, 12 turns when these guys arrive, and then these guys finish up mopping and move down here. Then I'll attack the second time. In India, we've got the line holding. He's moving forces. I don't know what this is, but it's all about this thrust here right now, and holding over here, trying to surround Madras so that these guys don't escape, essentially. But yeah, pretty pleased. Mopping up over here, finish it off. And that's that for the turn. Thank you guys for tuning in, and yeah, Thank you for watching.